I recorded this a while ago, but I had to come back to it because of something important I learned from dealing with a customer. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today I want to talk about how I almost wasted my time working on this shirt, but something unexpected happened. Obviously, from the beginning of this video, I'm not starting a whole shirt. I had already done this shirt based on a customer request, but because they never actually followed through with their order, I had to let it be until someone else decided to pick it up. That was when I decided that I'm going to document the finishing journey of this video. So, this is what happened. A customer commissioned me to do two items for them, a shirt and a sweater, using the same pattern. And we agreed on a price and payment plan. The payment plan was supposed to be paid in 4 installments. They paid the first one. When it was time to pay the second, they ditched me. They didn't pick my calls, and that was weird, right? Naturally, I felt dejected, and well, I'm very active on my TikTok, so I used to post behind the scenes working on this shirt, and about two people reached out to say that they liked the shirt and they were going to buy it. And I said okay, no problem. And because they asked to buy, I told them that this particular shirt was for someone else, but if the person doesn't eventually turn up, the shirt might just be for them. And so already I had two people standing that were willing to buy the shirt. But because I wanted to honor my own end of the agreement, I didn't agree to sell the shirt at first. First got the order for the shirt in October 2025, and I had finished to this point before making this video. I had finished up until the only thing remaining was just to add finishing touches and the collar to the shirt. I'd finished everything by end of October. Obviously, like I got the order mid October and I'd already finished within 2 weeks. So I kept calling the customer and they just didn't pick up. Their number was off at some point of me constantly calling. And it was weird because this is the first time I'll be dealing with this person, and well, when it was the end of December and I didn't hear anything from this person, I decided to just let it be. I stopped working on the shirt until they called me back to discuss progress on the shirt. One of the people that showed interest in the shirt called again in January to say that, oh, they want this shirt. Is this particular one still available? Because they were coming into town and they really needed it like ASAP. And I said, yeah, it was still available. That I just needed to work maybe several hours on it to just finish some things, and don't worry, it's gonna get delivered to you. This happened on a random Friday, and they just felt like obviously like answered prayers. Well, I finished the shirt the finishing took almost like 8 hours because I had to make some size adjustments, and it made me so happy working on it. I worked on the collar, I fixed the buttons. I made sure to be very meticulous in doing all of this because this person that asked to buy the shirt again, this is their second time patronizing me. And I didn't want to do a terrible job because time wasn't on my side at that time. So As much as I rushed through the project, I also tried to do everything right. So, a little bit about the shirt itself, the design, execution, and how long it took me. The foundational design is starting with hexagon design using granny stitches. But the twist about this one is one end didn't follow the traditional hexagon where you fit in six granny square stitches into a magic circle. So there was a long tail end that served as the body of the shirt. This method was particularly effective because the shirt is supposed to be short sleeved. It was so easy to do, and it wasn't even as technical as such. Well, I it took me about roughly 40 hours to get to this point. I'm usually faster than that, but because of the nature of the customer, I took my time to do this. I was always just doing it, coming back to it, doing it, coming back to it. It was a lot of back and forth. For me, I normally like, because it's a shirt and it's not supposed to be bulky. I'm sorry, I'm not a one strand stitch girly. I don't use one strand. Personally, I think one strand makes the shirt or the material expand faster than when you use bulky uh, yarn, or when you combine your yarn more than rather than using just one strand. Ideally, it gives it texture, and although fine, it depends on, to me anyways. For granny stitches, ideally I would rather do two strand four strands going forward, but for shirts using granny stitches, I will not use one strand. It's going to stretch out the shirts faster. So for the flap of the shirt, I just did single crochet single crochet all around, and also for the down part of the shirt I also did single crochet. I used standard shirt buttons, and obviously from the video I used a black yarn and white yarn. Picking out the buttons was not so tricky, but I had options, and eventually I decided to go with using standard shirt buttons. So that's just my take on doing shirts. I used two strands, and it took me, it wasn't so time consuming anyways. Doing everything at this point, I was done. I was just so satisfied with my growth, and might I add, this is the second day, the morning of the delivery. Okay, in case I never mentioned it, with the Ashake Knitworks, quality is always 100%. There is no way I'm going to deliver a shirt that has defaults. It doesn't happen. There may be some things that are not to your liking, which is so understandable, but neatness is not something we compromise on here. I make sure to remove the lint, even though the lint is not my fault, but I always remove it. Well, the beginning of this order was promising, the middle was frustrating, and everything still ended in something promising, because the goal of every small business owner is to try to make something and make sales, not just for them to finish it and then it's still sitting there in their wardrobe, not being sold, or just there, not fulfilling the purpose of what we want. What I want is for people to see my brand and wear it and appreciate it. It's not just for it to be sitting in my parlor or my gallery sitting pretty. No, I want people to experience my creativity. Honestly, making this delivery was like one of the happiest days of my life. And I'm really grateful to my customer. And I don't particularly hate the person that placed the order but never follow through. It taught me lessons. It taught me a lot. And one of the lessons is just to always expect disappointments. And of course, be visible. Because if I wasn't visible, I probably wouldn't have seen someone that would say they're interested in it, and eventually buy it. So this is my packaging process. Ideally, my packaging process doesn't involve much, just the paper bag. But for extra, oh my god, I love my design. And yes, there's this small part of the two-factor authentication. It's just a little stamp that I got as a gift. And then, of course, because it's in an interstate delivery, and I don't know if this person will be opening it here, so I had to seal the opening of the bag. So, yeah, I learned lessons, and one of the lessons was being visible and not being too rigid, really, and also not putting all your eggs in one basket. It would have been harder to have finished everything with a customer that wasn't consistent. Moving the products, selling it to another person might not have been easy, because just what if they don't like this particular, the other one. So when I saw the red flag, when I saw the inconsistency, I decided to hold on and just see what's going to come out of it. And in the end, it really was in my favor. So I packaged everything. Here are some nice pictures for you. Yep, the detail on this shirt is good. And then, yep, I delivered it, and at the end, it's going to be pictures of the owner working their shirt, the original owner. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And see you on the next one. Bye bye.